Now, meanwhile, Mexican state oil giant PEMEX is facing difficulties. Production is slowing as easily accessible oil dries up, and the company lacks the resources to get deeper oil reserves. President Peña Nieto is looking to usher in reforms allowing more private involvement in the state, hoping to reinvigorate the cash-strapped oil giant. PEMEX recently signed a 2-year deal to increase oil exports to China by nearly 30,000 barrels a day. Now, the company also signed a deal to exchange technical expertise as well, the first contract of its kind signed with Chinese companies. CCTV's John Holman caught up with Carlos Morales, PEMEX Director of Production and Exploration, about the plans.
After the new agreements that were signed recently between Mexico and Chinese companies, could China be a new key market for Mexican oil?
Projections show that the U.S. imports are going to be reduced. That's an indication that we have already in the markets. And based on that, we want to also to diversify, to reduce the uncertainty that we have in the market conditions in which we operate, is that we, let's say, are focusing in this big growing, very fast-growing markets, which is the Far East, particularly China.
This is a big year for PEMEX. We're talking about a possible energy reform. What does Mexico need to do to provide incentives for other companies to invest in PEMEX and in Mexico?
We have to have an equilibrated also and balanced fiscal system that allows the companies that come to Mexico to invest in our country and to still have access to, let's say, to a profit.
You talked about profit sharing, about having access to profit. At the moment, under Mexican law, that can't happen. Do you think that Mexican law needs to change so that PEMEX can be competitive, say, with other oil companies?
Well, I think that the laws should be changed in terms of giving two avenues. In terms of two avenues, I would say, in terms of making our company more efficient, that is allowing PEMEX to associate with other companies, to allow PEMEX to be, let's say, to have a self-governance, and to have a self-governance, particularly on the budget side.
PEMEX provides about a third of the Mexico budget. Is that something that needs to change so that PEMEX can move forward as a company?
We need to, let's say, to grow other sources of income for the federal government. The needs of the, and that only can be done by increasing investment. And that will create these conditions of reducing the participation of PEMEX in the contribution to the federal income, and of course, we will incentivize the participation of others at the same time.
There is still oil in Mexico, no, but it's more difficult to find it. Do you have the technology that you need at the moment to extract the oil that's lying deeper under the ground?
Yeah, the technology is an issue that can be, let's say, either find in the market or develop.
Do you have the money to get it?
The money is the issue. The money is the issue. The question is how fast I want to extract those resources.
What is PEMEX's plan for the next 10 years?
For the next 6 years, our plan is to increase production to from 2.5 that we are today to 3 million barrels per day. We are developing the resources that we have in new reservoirs that we have found. If the reforms comes, then those figures could be significantly increased by the end of this decade.